we're live. What is going on, everybody? My name is Nikki Smokes, joined by my co-host, Bobby. You were listening to The Smoke Show. It is my birthday. It's a birthday episode. I got a nice birthday beer.
Yes, sir.
I got another one to go. Halfway through the show, we're here. Football is back, Bobby. We finally don't have to sit here and talk about Madden ratings or whatever bullshit we were talking about for the last 3 weeks. Training camp is here. The vibes are back. Football is back. We finally have some stuff to get into. How are we feeling today, brother? I'm so excited for this show.
Oh, man. I mean, first and foremost, happy birthday, brother. I hope it's a good one. I hope it brings you nothing but another great year of life and a great Dolphin season to come with it is what we're really hoping for. I mean, football is back, bro. When you can sit on your ass at work at 10 o'clock when you don't feel like doing anything, refresh the timeline and see Dolphins players on the field practicing, you get the reports, you get the interviews, you get so much comes along with it. And I'm so happy that we're going to have great things to talk about and hopefully great things to watch, man. I'm excited about this Dolphins season, just like I know you are. So it's great to finally be one step closer.
I can't wait. And this team hasn't missed a beat. Mike McDaniel hasn't missed a beat. Mr. Corny himself, he's not waiting. I mean, this is what he had to say 3 seconds into his first press conference.
It's not too much fun to be judged all the time, is it?
He's always got something slick to say. I love the little jab to the media because it's our job to sit here and critique people. Exactly. But then when it goes back to him, you don't really like it too much. So I hear you, Coach Mike.
Yeah, dude. McDaniel's always throwing out one-liners. It seems like he's well-liked by the media a lot more than some of our other coaches, especially like a Brian Flores, for example. Ooh. So it seems like he's just an easygoing, like wants to please people, gets along with everyone. So that aspect about Coach I definitely like. I know you got some more clips to go through, but there's some other stuff I'm not sure about with Coach.
Well, let's talk about that. What are you not sure about? Like what type of person does he strike you as?
He's just not a football guy in its purest sense. Like when I watch an interview of Mike McDaniel, it doesn't make me like think, oh, this guy's leading us to the promised land. I want to run through a fucking brick wall for him right now. Like he's just not that alpha personality, which is fine. He can get away with that. But just like some of his answers and like the pauses and it's a little quirky. Special appearance.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just like sometimes he's just a little like hesitant with what he says and he minces over his words and he kind of stumbles. And I don't know. He's just like a quirky, weird guy. He's not the prototypical football coach, in my opinion.
No, I 100% agree with you. And the thing with Mike is he's like that guy that wants to come off chill and funny, but deep down he's like the weird genius, the mad scientist, and he's throwing out words that I really don't understand. Like, what is this word?
And it's pretty masochistic, but it's.
What is masochistic? What is a masochistic? What is that?
I could be wrong. I think a masochist enjoys pain is what I think it means. I'm not positive though. You're gonna have to
how do you even spell that word?
Masochist. I'm not good at spelling. Masochist. Okay, I found it. It's a person who derives sexual gratification from their own pain or humiliation.
Even weirder.
I didn't know it was sexually driven.
Weird, bro. It's a little bit weird.
That is a little bit weird when you go look up what the actual definition means. They're getting off on the hard work, though. If you want to translate it like that, the boys are getting off on the hard work.
Everyone's walking around Horn, the Dolphins training camp, just fired up to get to work. Hey, man, whatever floats the boat, whatever gets this team into the playoffs and winning a playoff game, I don't really care what happens. I really don't. Do whatever you have to do, brother. Do whatever you have to do.
Facts. Seems a little outside the box for my liking, but if it works, it works. I'll take it. I'll take it all day.
And the one thing that kind of bothers me with Mike McDaniel. So last year with Brian Flores, it always felt like he was hiding something from us. You know, he's like, and then he like Flores just wouldn't say anything. But with Mike McDaniel, it's almost as if he wants to tell us something, and then he ums his way out of his answer. They'll ask him a basic question and be like, I really feel like very good player, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, Mike, say what's on your chest, bro. Speak up, because I don't understand you. There's no clear path to what is going to come out of his mouth. Like you really don't know what direction it's going to go. It's like he starts one way and he just busts a hard right on you, and it's just like, Mike, where are you going, bro?
Yeah, dude. He's a big ummer. Like he drops every time he's spoken to. I just dropped an I was so self-consciously being like, I can't say after that sentence, but I know
right.
it's
And
hard.
even when I was going, I must have tripped over myself like 3 or 4 times trying to speak.
Yeah, right. And that's the thing. Like he's a first-year head football coach. I know he's coached around the league for a while under Shanahan with the Falcons, all that. But like he's never had to get up in front of the media after every practice and talk to them and explain. So I'm sure that's part of the growing pains for him, is just being a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more polished. I mean, at the end of the day, he is a football coach. So who really
Right.
cares what he sounds like in the media answering questions? You want him to sound good. It's definitely a bonus. But if he sounds like a little bit of a weirdo and he has his ums and his pauses and doesn't really say what he feels maybe, but he goes out and wins football games, no qualms for
Straight.
me. Straight with me, because that's job number one, is winning football games. Anything else is just extra.
How do you think Tua deals with the media? Do you like how he speaks? Who's worse, I should say, because I don't think either of them speak well.
See, the thing about McDaniels, though, at least he kind of cracks jokes. It seems like people like him. It seems like people are interested by him. Tua, he seems at points annoyed with questions, which I can get. Like he gets asked a lot of questions. He takes a lot of criticism. But then in other times, it just seems like he doesn't ever really give any sort of a real answer.
Right.
He'll say like, I don't hear people talking about me. I don't see it online. I don't do this. It's just like, at the end of the day, at this point, like I know that you see it. I know that you hear it.
course.
Like you can just admit that it's there. It's not a bad thing if you know that people are talking about you, because they are. Like it's a factual thing that's going on. So you don't have to pretend like it's not there. Speak with your chest. Be honest. I don't know. I just don't like guys that kind of tiptoe around stuff and
Right.
don't really just say what they mean, bro. Like you're the quarterback of the team. Speak what's on your mind. Like say what's on your chest. You're going to be a leader of this football team. So we want to know the real Tua. We don't want to see you tiptoeing, giving these bullshit answers.
Yeah, I'm not with the bullshit answers. Now, I understand as a professional athlete, there's certain things you can and cannot say. And you also don't want to say anything that's going to get you in trouble or your team in trouble.
Right.
But for example, like what he said in the press conference today, or whatever you want to call it, meeting with the media today, where he basically said, I don't really hear anything unless you're in my circle, blah, blah, blah. But we all know the people in your circle are hearing everything and showing it to you. It's obvious. It's not that big of a deal. Like you can address it. You'd be like, yeah, I hear what they're saying. I really don't care. I'm worried about the guys in the locker room right now. Like, don't sit here and lie to me, Bobby, and the fan base and act like you've never heard one single thing that anyone on social media or the media, because you're an ESPN every day, has said about you. Like, don't act completely oblivious. That's all I have to say. But here's what Mike McDaniel had to say about Tua.
What I really want to see from him is Tua is super hard on himself, which is a good thing. But anything in excess isn't the best thing either. So he holds himself at a high standard. So I don't want that to impede when things don't go the way he wants. I don't want to impede the next play. So I said it about the whole team, but specifically with the quarterback, he has such a natural football presence on the football field that who cares if there's one read this way or that way. Again, like every quarterback, it's not if but when. So those short-term memories, that's what I think you can really work on in the training camp right now and moving forward as the leader of our team.
Tua's hard on himself. Now, I can relate to that because I am so hard on myself. I am my biggest critic. I hold myself to a very high standard. And if I didn't, I don't feel like I would be as ambitious or as successful as I am today. And I'm not saying I'm anywhere close to where I want to be yet. Like this channel is not even close to anywhere that it wants to be. But if I'm not hard on myself or I'm not holding myself to a certain standard, like we're not showing up. We're not putting out videos. I'm not out here posting 4 or 5 days on TikTok for our golf podcast. So I relate to that. And even with my schoolwork, like I always held myself to a high standard. That's why I'm graduating from the University of Florida. But what I'm saying is if you don't hold yourself to a certain standard and you're not putting that pressure on yourself, you're going to get complacent and lazy. So I think it's a good trait to have. I have no problem with Tua being hard on himself. But the only thing I have a problem with is like when you try to deflect it. Don't deflect it, Tua. Embrace it. Don't sit here and tell me that you hold yourself to a really high standard and what's the word I'm looking for? High standard, and that you hold yourself accountable, but don't tell me the next sentence later that you don't put any pressure on yourself, because when you're the one holding yourself accountable, you are putting pressure on yourself. What do you think about that?
Yeah, facts. And I mean, first off, the clip you just showed spoke to exactly what we said about McDaniel. You could tell he had to like pause and really kind of think about his words. It's not just like how I don't know. I feel like if you feel some sort of way, it should be very easy for you to get asked and then say what you feel. But with him,
Right.
you saw that long pause where it's like, and it takes him forever to kind of say what he wants to say. So I wish he would just
Right.
deliver that a little bit better. But in terms of Tua, I mean, I 100% agree with putting like pressure on yourself and holding yourself to a certain standard is necessary. And without it, none of these guys would be where they're at now. I mean, they're NFL
Right.
football players. They have to know that what to expect from themselves and then to go out and try and do it. But to your point, like that does create a bit of pressure on you. But I think pressure is good. I think what McDaniel said was awesome, that anything in excess is bad. If you put pressure on yourself and you have that standard, good. But if you're doing
Right.
it too much and you're going too far to the point where, like, if you have one bad play, you're so mad at yourself about that bad play that it then affects your next play and your next play. Like, we can't have that. So, yes,
Right.
set that bar high for yourself. Every day you come into the building, practice, games, training camp, meetings, try and exceed that goal. If there's a day you don't get there or something goes wrong, you have to be able to reflect on that, take it in, and then put out something better going
Right.
forward. It can't be something that drags you down and just keeps you in that kind of mood when shit doesn't go your way, you know?
Right. And anything in excess is not good. And that's one of my biggest flaws, you know? So if I slip up and do one thing wrong, I will beat myself to the absolute grave when I do it. But then when I have success, it's almost as if I anticipate that. So I don't even celebrate it. I don't even smile, like nothing. Like we've had a couple of videos over 1 million views on TikTok and other platforms, and it's like I smiled for 3 seconds and it was like whatever. But I feel more emotion when we have a video or an episode or a take or whatever when it doesn't get that production that we thought it deserves.
Exactly.
I get more emotional about that from the negative than the success. So I think that's exactly what Mike McDaniel is talking about, and I 100% agree. But here's Tua talking about him and how he's hard on himself. But let me know if you guys think he's contradicting, because I think he is. So I'm going to play this clip, and then the next clip I'm going to show is like 5 seconds later, and it's almost like, bro, just admit that you put pressure on yourself and that you feel pressure. It is normal. You're a quarterback in the NFL. You have Tyreek Hill, you have Cedric Wilson, you have Jalen Waddle, you have Mike Gesicki, you have 3 stud running backs, you have an improved offensive line, you have an offensive-minded head coach, and you have a stud defense.
Yep.
There's pressure. Accept it. So I'm going to play the 2 clips. Let me know if you guys think Tua is contradicting himself. Here's the first one.
I would say that being hard on myself has always been a trait, and I think for any competitor, that's the way we've kind of grown to become as professional athletes. I think everyone's hard on themselves at a certain extent, but for me, I know my capabilities, and so when I'm not playing up to it or living up to it, then it gets frustrating. And you know, I think everyone on the team feels the same way when they don't do their job the way they're supposed to do it, because overall it either benefits the team or it doesn't.
Right. So you're hard on yourself, Tua. We understand that. That's normal. You should be. You're a quarterback in the NFL. So I have no problem with that clip whatsoever. None. But this clip doesn't make any sense to me. This clip makes no sense to me. Have a listen.
I would say I never put pressure on myself, but it comes with the position. Pressure's always there. Playing this position, and playing in the NFL. I think for any professional athlete, everyone can attest that, it's unadded pressure. We put that pressure on ourselves to compete every day, to be the best, to do things the right way, and to try to do things the right way consistently.
So are you putting pressure on yourself or are you not putting pressure on yourself? I don't care about externally. Now you could sit here and say there's no external pressure, but what he said in that clip right there is very contradicting.
Yeah, it is.
Are you putting pressure on yourself or are you not? Because in the last clip, you said you're very hard on yourself. And when you're very hard on yourself, you're putting pressure on yourself. And then in this next clip, you're telling me you don't put any pressure on yourself. And I don't know how you could be hard on yourself without putting pressure on yourself. It makes no sense to me. Do you think he's trying to deflect this idea that there might be added pressure on him? Do you think that he just answered the question incorrectly? What'd you make of that video? Because to me, it's very contradicting.
Yeah, I mean, he talked himself in a circle, quite literally
Right.
just talked himself into a circle. And the thing with Tua is you just said the perfect word is deflection. It seems like he deflects a lot. Whether it's what we just talked about, where he says he doesn't hear any of the outside noise, or when he says he has high expectations, but he's not putting pressure on himself. It's it's okay to just say yeah, I put pressure on myself, but I'm going to look to rise above that and be what I know I can be. Or, yeah, I hear the outside people talking. It doesn't bother me. And I plan on proving them wrong. He's scared to just admit when something's in the air, and it feels like he just tries to deflect or say the right thing to kind of get it off him and make him sound better. But in reality, he just kind of contradicts himself, like you said, and talks circles. If he went up there and said, I have a high bar for myself, I have high expectations. Do I think I put a little bit of added pressure on myself? Sure, but I know what I'm expecting, and I want to go out and prove it to you guys. That'd be a perfectly great, honest answer. Instead of saying, no, I want the best, but there's no pressure on me. It doesn't make sense. It's literally just contradicting those two clips so much.
I put more pressure on myself than anyone else. Tua does that, and you should. If you're not putting pressure on yourself to be great, you're a loser. I'm sorry. I really don't know what else to say. I can tell you that you're going to be doing something for the rest of your life that you don't want to do, or you're going to put your head on the pillow when you're 90 years old and you'll be like, damn, I could have did more. You have to put pressure on yourself, and I believe Tua does. But like you said, what you just said would have been a perfect answer. Knocked it out of the park. You would have got 5 out of 5 on your written response question on your test if you said exactly what Bobby said. But when you say shit like that, it's like, bro, tell us how you really feel. I'm not going to sit here and get upset. I'd be like, bro, did you hear what Tua said? He spoke like a fucking man. He spoke like a man. I don't put pressure on myself, but, I do put pressure on myself, but it's not external. But it's like, bro, I don't even know what you're saying at this point. I really don't understand what you're saying at this point.
Doesn't make sense. It's just circles. And you nailed it, bro. If you're not putting pressure on yourself to be better or reach your goals, what are you doing in life? You're just complacent, and complacency leads to failure. So we don't need that. You should see this guy smoke when his golf swing's out of whack. It's 20 videos. It's rage. It's what do I fix here? What do I do there? So I respect that out of you. I love that you put that on yourself, and you have to be your biggest critic. You have to want more from yourself. And I respect that that's the kind of person you are. I'm the same way. You should be that way. That's a positive thing.
Level 2 noob. One of the big things I don't like about Tua, I know he's trying to come across solid, but you're a top 5 pick who hasn't lived up to the hype yet. There is pressure. It's okay to say it. Exactly, level 2 noob. Exactly. And I think if you come out there and say that, I don't think that's detrimental to the team. I don't think that has any impact on the team. If you want to talk about adding pressure through the media, you got to hit up your boy Tyreek Hill that's saying that you're more accurate than Patrick Mahomes and that you're the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. If you want to talk about external pressure, that's coming straight from your own locker room. So you coming out and saying, yeah, there's a little bit of pressure. Good. Acknowledge that, embrace that, because we all know what's there. They're
Yeah.
asking you the question because they want to see how you really feel, and you deflecting it is not the best way for that to go away. Because if I ask you that question and you just put me through the ringer like that, I'm just going to keep asking you the question until I hear the truth.
Yeah.
And had he said anything close to what you said, that question would be done with. Tua is aware of the pressure, as he should be. And he's also aware of what people have to say about him. Now I'm going to play you another clip, and don't worry, I'm not trying to sit here and just micro-analyze everything that these guys have said. But this is what we're going to talk about, and then we'll talk about the practice and other things like that. So Tua wants to come out here and say that he doesn't hear any of the hype or any of the negativity. That is so false. I'm going to play you this clip. And if you genuinely believe that this man doesn't hear anything about him, you let me know in the comments and say, Smoke, you're wrong. Because an answer like this shows me that, brother, you fucking hear everyone.
Well, I don't know any of those guys. So I mean, if that's what they have to say, then good for them. That's probably a good thing for them to say. They draw people for clickbait, or I don't know, whatever that is. But to me, if I can't hear you, then you're not that important to me. If you're,
like, well, good for them, whatever they have to say, blah, blah, blah. And then he breaks down the business. Then he's like, well, it's probably good for them for clickbait and this and that and bring people in. So you're aware. You're aware that you're clickbait. You know that you're clickbait. And anytime you're like, well, I don't know those guys, blah, blah, blah. You know those guys. You know those guys, because I just had that happen to me. Someone was like, oh, some blah, blah, blah YouTuber. Bro, you know my name, dog. Like, you follow me. I know you're aware. Like, Tua's Foundation has certain accounts blocked. You're aware, bro. You know what people say. Your trainer, who, by the way, I don't have a problem with Perform. I think he's a pretty cool-ass dude. He's going back and forth with Twitter trolls all the time. That's your right-hand man, bro. Like, he's posting videos of you almost every other day during the offseason. You know what people are saying. Like, you know what people are saying. Like, he posted videos of you throwing the ball 70 yards, the out route that everyone said he couldn't throw, this and that. So you're addressing all the negative comments on the internet and on the Twitter trolls, blah, 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 blah. They're being addressed subliminally, I know you hear it. And by the way you answer that question with your demeanor, I know you're lying. And you're lying to all of us, because there is no way in hell that you do not see or do not hear any of that. And that's not even just Twitter, social media. Brother, you were on ESPN. Like, you were on national TV. And I already know, oh, I don't watch ESPN. I'm a Netflix guy. I play my ukulele, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure you do at the house. I'm sure. But when you go to get a sub, I know you look up at ESPN. Oh, they're talking about me because Tyreek Hill said I'm more accurate than Patrick Mahomes. Oh, you're walking around the facility. They have TVs all over the place. You're seeing your name on ESPN. So don't tell me that you have no idea what's being said about you. And then don't tell me that the people in your circle are not showing you when those people in your circle are addressing the people saying this shit about you. So I just want a little more honesty, brother. That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah, I mean, the number one sign of guilt is when you start going, oh, well, just like he was mixing his words. He was even doing some weird hand shit. Like, you could tell that's not true. And you brought up the number one point I was going to bring up. Like, I don't claim to know Tua's in a circle. I don't know who he rolls with. But I do for a fact know that Perform, his trainer, is in his inner circle and with him all the time. And this guy goes on Twitter and goes to war with these trolls. So, like, don't tell me that your inner circle doesn't know, or you don't know. Like, we all know the truth, bro. It's okay. It's okay to have pressure. It's okay that people are talking about you. Go out and prove them wrong. You can address the elephant in the room and say, like, I know this is here, but I plan on getting past it. Like, you can use that negative thing as like a building block to say, I'm going to go out and exceed their expectations, instead of saying, I'm going to plead the fifth. I don't even know what they're talking about. I don't know who they are. I don't hear it. It's just like, come on, Tua. But if we want to make it a little more positive, that throw he had to Tyreek that we got to see today, that boy was on the money.
I just pulled it up on Twitter.
Oh, that boy was on the money.
Tell me this doesn't. Oh my gosh, dude! What's that word that McDaniel said?
Masochist.
No, this gets me masochist. This gets me going. Look at that crow.
Dime,
What a
bro.
fucking dime.
And we
Oh
talked
my
about
gosh.
how
Right in the bread
McDaniel's
basket, gives them just enough space to get both feet down. And they talked about it. Well, Tua talked about it. He said it was man coverage. They tried to flip it. I saw it. You can see here he's manipulating the safety with his eyes. The ball's right where it needs to be. Outside hashes, 2 feet down. Tyreek Hill's throwing up the peace sign. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to see this on Sunday, bro.
Bro, we talk about how McDaniels might not be that alpha. Tua might not be that alpha. Tyreek's that motherfucking alpha, bro. You see him, he's talking all his talk. He's throwing up peace signs. Like, we needed a little something like that. And might it add a little bit of pressure here or there on Tua when he says he's the most accurate guy in the league? Sure. But, like, we need that guy who's a dog who's going to say, my shit don't stink. I know what I am. I'm a beast.
Right.
And I'm going to come make this team be beastly. Like, I love that. Every player on the team can't be that mentality, or else we'd have a bunch of cocky pricks. But it's good when you mix in a few. Like, he is an alpha dog. I saw Terran Armstead talk today, and he goes, I can guarantee you that we're this offensive line is going to be better this year. Like, I like these guys that are like elite players at their position, and they know they're elite, and they come in and they talk, and that I just feel like it's going to rub off on the team, man. We need a little bit of that dog, man.
Right. Dude, I agree with you, but I like that from my quarterback. Like I want a humble beast in a sense, but I don't want you to not ever take credit for you being like when Tua was out there during OTAs, he was like this, yes, like give me that. Like let people know like I'm that dude, like I'm about that shit. Like don't come up here and deflect all this shit. Address that shit.
Yeah.
Address that shit. Let us know. And that's what Tua said about Tyreek. Tyreek, he's like, bro, hold on. This beer's coming up. He's like, bro, if Tyreek feels a certain way, he's going to let you know. Like, if he feels like he's the best player at basketball or whatever it is, he's going to tell you that. If he thinks a corner is talking too much shit and he wants to expose him, he's going to go expose him. I love that. I want more of that dog. And I know Tua has it in him, but I feel like he's like scared to unleash it.
You know what I think it is, man? He just needs to have a good season. I know that's obviously sounds really stupid to say and obvious, but like if Tua goes out and balls this year, I truly think that you start seeing a new Tua where he doesn't have to worry about the internet trolls and what the world's going to say, because that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like he does. He walks on eggshells because he doesn't want to put the next soundbite out for the Twitter trolls to go attack. It's like if he can back that shit up on the field, I feel like you start to see a more confident guy in the media with the fans, but it remains to be seen. All we could do at this point is cross our fingers and hope to get that dog on the field, man.
That's a great point. Like when I play golf and I'm playing good golf, life is good. I'm that guy. Shit. I'm on the tour, blah, blah, blah. But then I go out there, I go through a slum. It's like, bro, I'm done with this game. Like I'm fucking trash. I'm not playing golf anymore. Screw this game. I think that's exactly where Tua is at. Where when he has that one good season, because golf is hard. Like it's hard to be good at golf for a really long time. And it is in football as well, but it's not like Tua's already a professional quarterback. So it's completely different. I feel like when he has that one good season where you can look back at and be like, damn, I did that. I had 32 touchdowns. I only had 7 interceptions. I didn't fumble the ball 9 times. I was a reason why we won a must-win game to get into the playoffs. That's going to change your demeanor. Because when I go out there and I break 90, I'm walking around like I could go make the fucking PGA Tour by the time I'm 35. And I feel like that's what Tua's missing. And I think you hit the nail on the head, brother. I think you hit the nail on the head. Cap for Life talking about Noah Iminamimi. I heard he dropped a pick. So ironic is we need a quarterback not to throw interceptions, but we also need our first-round pick corner to start making interceptions. We also need our first-round pick corner to start starting. We also need him to be a starter, a difference maker on the defense. I heard he actually had an interception on Tyreek Hill from Tua. But whether he's dropping the pick, which I'm not justifying, I'm not saying it's cool, but if he's out there making plays, pass deflections on Tyreek Hill and Tua, Noah Imini really might start making some plays, bro. And he has to. Jones is out. He's hurt. It's time for him to step up. Nick Needham's become our third corner, and Nick Needham's been great. He's been great.
100%.
If our first-round draft pick could be our fourth corner, decent, we'd have like the greatest secondary of all time because Brandon Jones is a dog. Javon Holland is a dog.
Boy.
He's that dude. I think Javon Holland will be a top 2 safety by the end of this year. And Jalen Phillips, he's a dog. He might lead the league in sacks this year. Xavier Howard. Everyone wants to disrespect him. That man is a dog. He's top 2 in the league. Him and Jalen, top 2. I'll debate a wall. Debate a wall, bro. I don't care.
I agree. They're sizing him.
Dogs. If Noah could be decent and we could utilize him because he's got great talent. I forgot who it was. They were asking him who was the hardest cornerback you ever went up against in college. And the wide receiver was a stud. That's why it's pissing me off. I can't remember his name.
And he said
Noah and Jalen Waddle or Jamar Chase.
It was, dude. I saw that. It was. I remember that.
And it's just like, it makes no sense. But Noah was also like 19 when we drafted him.
Yeah.
I think Noah was only 22 years old. Let me look that up.
And with corners, I feel like that's the toughest jump besides quarterbacks. Corners, toughest jump from pro to college.
I'm older than Noah. Noah is 22. And I just turned 23 today. He doesn't turn 23 until November. So instead of staying in college, where he probably would have continued to be the best corner, he's over here in the league developing his skills, and he's paid the price for it because he got exposed. I remember the first game he ever started was against Stephon Diggs. And we actually didn't lose to Buffalo by that much. It was a pretty competitive game, but Diggs cooked this man. I think Diggs put up like 200-plus yards on him. But if we could have Noah Immonogamy or whatever the hell you say, I'm sorry, brother. Your last name's way too many syllables, vowels. You got way too much in there for me, bro. But if he even gets halfway decent, like imagine if he's a guaranteed starter, we have him as our third corner because we drafted him to be our nickel corner. We had him as a third corner and Nick Needham as a fourth. I don't think anyone would be able to throw the ball on us.
No, I mean, that's like the strength of our team is our secondary, I would say. And adding him just to be solid, just to be a rotational guy. We're not asking you to be the number 1 and go out and guard number 1s all week because we know we have that already. We have that in Xavier Howard. We're asking you to contribute to a football team. And I said it to you when we got on the show. It's Noah Igbenogany season. Is he going to be good enough to play? You hear it every year since we drafted him that like, oh, he's making improvements in camp. Oh, he's coming along. Oh, he might be the guy. It's like, I would pray and love to see him come out and earn some time and contribute to this defense because it would be such a nice addition, like such a welcome piece to have our secondary, which is probably our best unit, just pick up another addition. It would truly be great, and I hope the kid can pan out. It is encouraging to know he's that young. I didn't realize he was that young. That is sick.
Yeah, it is pretty sick. You know what else is sick? 60% of our roster is in their third year or less. Now, I want to remind everyone, the Buffalo Bills were in the exact same boat as the Miami Dolphins before Josh Allen took that year 3 leap. The defense was great. They had a lot of young talent, and they were in dogfights. They were always competing, much like the Miami Dolphins. Now, for the Bills, Josh Allen, he took that jump. The rest was history. But this also happened with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers before they had Tom Brady. Now, Jameis Winston, that boy threw 30 touchdowns, but he also had 30 interceptions, and they only won 9 games. So what did they do? They got Tom Brady, and they won a Super Bowl. The Miami Dolphins are in the same boat. Tua could make that year 3 leap like Josh Allen. I'm not saying he's going to be Josh Allen or that he has to be Josh Allen, but if Tua goes out there, 32, 33, 34 all-purpose touchdowns, because he likes to run a little bit, and he only has 8, 9 interceptions, and he doesn't fumble the ball 9 times. We got a quarterback. We got a quarterback on a rookie contract for another year. We can go make things happen. who knows what happens after that? But if he goes out there and he sucks and he has 20 turnovers, or if you're Jameis Winston, 30, you're gone. And anybody, any quarterback is going to want to come to Miami. And if we don't want to sign a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, Tom Brady's a free agent. I doubt he'll come here. But what I'm saying is there's options. If none of those guys, if we don't want to go out there and sign any of those guys, we have 2 first-round draft picks. And we have
loaded.
And we're loaded with draft capital. We can maneuver and do whatever we want in the draft. So if Tua makes that year 3 leap, I think the sky's the limit. They're going to have to start putting respect on the Miami Dolphins name. And I know our offensive line is still unproven. But, man, if we have an answer at quarterback, could you imagine what that would do? Like, we could upgrade the offensive line overnight. We wouldn't have to waste draft capital on a quarterback. We wouldn't have to go sign Lamar for $260 million because he's going to get more than Kyler.
That's what he's going to cost.
The best thing for this team is for Tua to take that year 3 leap. And I really think he will. But if he doesn't, I think the Miami Dolphins in the next 3 years, and I mean this honestly, and I'm not trying to sip Kool-Aid. I've sipped Kool-Aid my whole life, but this is from an unbiased perspective. I mean, I'm a diehard Dolphin fan.
I was going to say, you'll never be unbiased.
I'll never be unbiased, but this is as close to unbiased as I could be as a diehard fan. Within the next 3 years, regardless, I think the Miami Dolphins are set up to play in a Super Bowl or at minimum play in an AFC Championship game.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you said it, 60% of the team being third year or younger. Like, teams would dream and die for that. It's so good. Our young talent is so good. And if you look at our roster from top to bottom and exclude the quarterback, we have one of the best, most talented rosters in the league. I don't think that's debatable. I think anybody would look at it from a neutral standpoint and say the same thing. So if Tua can take that jump, like that third-year jump that quarterbacks tend to take, man, it's not too far out of the realm of possibility to think this third year Tua takes a huge jump forward. It'd be the most ideal situation ever. Then all of a sudden it's like, okay, quarterback, check that box. The rest of the team is loaded with talent. We have these draft picks. We have this cap space. Let's go sign some pieces that we didn't think we'd be able to sign because we thought we were going to have to address a different position. And it would just be so great and so like beneficial to the team, man. But like you said, if that Tua doesn't work out, we do have pivot options. We do have routes. And this roster truly should be good. Like, we shouldn't be looking for a high draft pick or even caring about the draft for the next 3-4 years. We should be thinking playoffs or bust. Then once we get over that hurdle of playoffs or bust, winning playoff games. Because it is a step, man. And I know that as Dolphins fans, we want to say this year we need to go out and win a playoff game. For me, it's just a step too far. Get us to the playoffs this year. Let's get some experience. Let's see how it feels. And then from there, let's just get something to build on because we can't be mediocre. The worst thing we could do is go out and you can't be 8-8 anymore. So if we went out and we were 8-9, it's just like you're in that purgatory of mediocre.
Same
and
fucking
it's
realm.
just not going to cut it, man. But I'm optimistic. I think that we're going to get out of that. We're going to win 10, 11 games this year, and we're going to go play a football game in the playoffs with everything on the line, and the boys are going to grow from that, and it's going to be a positive season.
Right. I agree. I 100% agree. I think we are really set up for success this year. And the thing that kind of irks me is the Bengals last year. They didn't win. They haven't won a playoff game, and Lord knows how long. I don't think they didn't win one since they beat the Dolphins in the playoffs. They went straight to the Super Bowl.
You're crazy.
No one took the Bengals to win the Super Bowl. Anything is possible. Not ruling that out, but I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to the Super Bowl. But this team is built to be very successful, and I want to show you this graphic because it's crazy. I mean, this one had me going nuts. I said, "Oh my God, maybe we good. Maybe we're gonna make up for passing on Drew Brees for Dante Culpepper. Just maybe." I mean, look at this.
Okay,
Tua's got more wins,
better
completion percentage, more touchdowns, less interceptions, more passing yards per game.
I mean, that's encouraging shit right there.
Quarterback, brother.
And Drew Brees was never Drew Brees was never the rocket arm, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers type of guy. Drew Brees was killing you with his mind and his timing and his accuracy, which lends itself to what Tua has the skills for. Like Tua's not gonna blow you away by chucking the ball downfield or just ripping it.
Right.
He's gonna beat you with his mind. He's gonna beat you with his eyes. He's gonna be accurate as hell, and that's what he's gonna do. And Drew Brees kind of is that mold, and that kind of does fire me up, dude. I mean, like that third year,
on the screen for you.
That third year jump is real, and it's not over. Like, people want to quit on this kid already, and I understand why, but like, it can happen, man. It truly can. And if it does, watch the fuck out, because it's game on if Tua takes that jump, bro.
I don't even know what I would do with myself.
It would be like, I don't know either. Like, I can't picture it.
What would I feel if the Dolphins won a playoff game? I've been to every playoff game that we've had after 2000, which was our last win. So maybe I should stop going to the games.
That might be it.
But what does a playoff win feel like? Like, what does having a Hall of Fame quarterback feel like? I couldn't even fathom that. That's why the best thing for this team is for Tua to be great. Because if we have that, oh my gosh, man. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I really don't, because I truly believe that if you put Josh Allen on the Dolphins and the Bills had Tua, the Dolphins would be the favorite to go win the Super Bowl or win the AFC.
Super Bowl.
Like 100%. And if Tua even starts sniffing that top 10 realm, how does this team not get there?
Sky is literally the limit. You said it, bro. I mean, if Tua can be that guy, sky's actually the limit. Like, it could be Joe Burrow Bengals type shit, because look at the Bengals like roster last year. It wasn't anything crazy. I would say the Dolphins have a better roster this year than the Bengals had last year, and I don't think that that's even outlandish to say. It was Joe Burrow taking that step. It was big time players. What did they have? They had an unreal receiving core, which we have, and I would say our receiving core is better, if not very, very close.
Close, because
I'm taking our receiving core.
Boyd is a dog. You're taking Boyd over Cedric?
I think the gap between Tyreek and Jamar is huge. Jamar's a dog, but I think Tyreek is like next level. Like, Tyreek is the guy, bro. And he's done it for, 6 years now? Like, it's not no fluke. We know what Tyreek's coming out to do every single year. And Jalen Waddle is a closer comparison to Jamar Chase in my head, because I think Jalen Waddle can go be that guy. And it seems like he might even be like the forgotten guy at this point, because Tyreek is so like all over the place everywhere. You got the little penguin in the background who's about to go off on teams, bro.
I don't even use Waddle and Madden like that anymore. I just throw the ball to Tyreek every fucking time.
That's what I'm saying. And as a defense, how do you cover it? Like, it's so much speed. There isn't even a corner in the league that's keeping up with Tyreek Hill in a race. Then you add Jalen Waddle, and it's just like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do?
And we got the run game. Alec Ingold practice. He's got the orange practice jersey on. We got 3 running back. Man, let me not get started. Now I'm sipping Kool-Aid. Now I'm sipping Kool-Aid. I really am, because I'm right now I'm bought in that the Dolphins are winning a playoff game this year. And if we don't, we suck. If we don't make the playoffs this year, I agree. We can't go 500 anymore. If this team does not win 10 games, I will not be here. Like, how can we get better?
You know the answer to that question. We just talked about it. But I mean, the goal has to be 10 wins or at the minimum. I mean, if we win 10 wins, I feel like that gets us in the playoffs. It should get us in the playoffs. It's going to be tough, though. I know the AFC is so fucking loaded. But let's see. Just like
Cap for life. It's like Big O says, we're always stuck in the middle. If this experiment doesn't work after year 3, you got no choice but to microwave it. Look at the last 2 teams that won the Super Bowl. Me and Bobby are like popcorn. We love the microwave, bro. Unless you're the New England Patriots and you have Tom effing Brady and Bill Belichick, you are not winning 6 Super Bowls in however many years they had together. You have to mic it. You got to go all out. You got to sign whoever the hell you can to get this gosh darn franchise over the hump. I'm tired of being sorry. You think the Eagles give a fuck that they only have one Super Bowl win? No, they don't care. They don't care. I'd give my left nut to see the Dolphins win one Super Bowl. We haven't won a playoff game in 22 years, and motherfuckers want to talk about dynasty? How about a playoff win? How about making the playoffs consistently? How about not having losing seasons? How about not starting 1-7? If it doesn't work this year, you better burn this fucking popcorn, bro. You better burn this popcorn until we have a Vince Lombardi trophy.
Facts. That's all I want. You talked about it. You can't even imagine what you would feel like. I can't even imagine what I would feel like. I got my buddies who are like Eagles fans bitching about their team. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. You won a Super Bowl 4 years ago, and it was the greatest day of your life. I got Steelers fans. My buddy's a Steelers fan, and he's always just like, oh, we're not going to be good this year. It's just like, yo, you've had a winning season the last 20 years, yo. Shut the fuck up. It's our time, man. It's our time
to friend if I ever saw him.
Yeah, bro, he deserves it because the fucking Steelers. Fuck the Steelers. I'm not even gonna talk about them. But
can I bring something up?
Mm-hmm.
First day of training camp. First real day of training camp. We're doing a show right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
What have we just been talking about for the last 5-10 minutes?
The Tua. I don't know.
No.
Oh, the Super Bowl, the playoffs.
We didn't even make it to the first preseason game. They have us hammered on the Kool-Aid, bro. We lost. We're faded. We're sipping Kool-Aid, bro. It's done. It was the first training camp practice, and we're talking about winning a playoff game and going to the Super Bowl. They are masterminds. They have us by the cojones.
It's the curse. It's like, what else are you going to do? You start talking about it and visualizing it, and all of a sudden your blood starts boiling a little bit and you feel some sort of certain way. They got us hooked. There's nothing we can do. It's an addiction.
They got us.
Bad.
Every year they get us. Every single tip my cap. That's why I keep buying the merch. Because
I was going to say, that's why you got the new sweatshirt on, the new hat. It's like they got you hooked, bro.
Oh, my God. Unbelievable. I think we got to end on that. I think that's a great way to end. Shout out to everyone tuning in. We love each and every single one of you guys. First real day of training camp. We'll see you guys for Fired Up Friday at 5 p.m. unless Bobby goes golfing, but I'll be here most definitely. Oh yeah, see, I already know he's golfing. We love all you guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, fins up.